What's going on, everyone? So Kawhi Leonard qualifies for a 4-year extension with the Los Angeles Clippers, and based on recent reports, it looks like they are in no hurry and no rush to do so. Based on the reports, it's kind of quiet right now in regards to contract extensions with Kawhi. And this makes a lot of sense for the Clippers. Obviously, he hasn't been reliable whatsoever. He's constantly injured. They even load manage him, and he still can't be healthy for the playoffs. And I really think that the Clippers are going to look at this season and kind of make their decision based on how Kawhi performs this year. If he can kind of stay relatively healthy, especially come playoff time, then I think he'll get a new extension. But he's already 32 years old. Do they really want to pay him through to when he's 36 and he already can't stay on the court? You can make an argument that they never should have given him an extension the last go around, and yet they did. And so this is a kind of make or break season, I think, for the Clippers, this variation of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Clippers are already shopping Paul George. They're already kind of just scouring and seeing what kind of returns can they get. Now there's talks about them getting James Harden. If they get James Harden somehow, I don't really see that happening, but if it does, then maybe they give Kawhi the extension, because at that point, probably locked in with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George, and you're kind of hoping that they figure it out and that they can stay healthy enough to win an NBA championship. But time will tell, right? Kawhi Leonard was the big acquisition. He was the guy that was supposed to come and lead the Clippers to a championship. He was coming off of a championship. He was a guy that, oh man, if the Clippers can go get Paul George and now they got Kawhi Leonard, oh, that's it. Lock it in, right? We heard all the talks. We heard all the noise. We heard all the conversations about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were going to win an NBA championship. And now we are, 5 seasons in? Something like that. And they still have made it to one Western Conference Finals, and that's it. And it's because Kawhi Leonard can't stay healthy, right? And the reason I'm even talking about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers on a Laker channel is because the Lakers, in hindsight, really dodged that Kawhi Leonard bullet, right? The Lakers had a real opportunity to get Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard himself said if they didn't get Paul George, he was going to the Lakers, and we would have had a big three of Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. That was the goal. That was what the Lakers wanted to do. The Lakers even waited around for the Kawhi Leonard saga to end, and then ended up getting burned on numerous free agents that they could have signed. And the idea was like, oh, it's okay, Kawhi Leonard is coming, right? Kawhi was basically a lock to go to the Lakers. That's where he wanted to go. He wanted to go back home. He wanted to go back to LA. Lakers made a world of sense, and that looked like that was the destination. And then boom, they end up making a fastball. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George end up working it out, and you see the Clippers go all in. And it was all the conversation about how it's not the Lakers, it's the Clippers. Watch out. The Clippers are the team that's going to win, and one LA team ended up winning a championship, and the other did not. And the Lakers ended up getting it done, which was great. Right? It was great to see the Lakers hoist that 17th banner. And look, if they had Kawhi Leonard, they probably would have won that year regardless, right? Like the Clippers, we thought the Clippers and the Lakers were going to play each other that year. And they ended up blowing it, right, in the bubble. And they ultimately lost to Denver, and then Denver and the Lakers played, and then the Lakers ended up beating Denver, and then Miami, and then win an NBA championship, right? But if Kawhi Leonard was on that Lakers roster, the Lakers still would have won that year. But the problem is, would they have won again going forward? Right? Like, that's the real question, because one, Kawhi Leonard still would have been very unhealthy and still wouldn't have played the amount of games that the Lakers would have needed him to. I mean, he only played 52 games the 2020-2021 season and injured, playoffs, things like that. And that was the year that they did go to the Western Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken. And then the following year, he didn't even play with an ACL injury in the 2021-2022 season. And then 2022-2023, he played 52 games again. And again, gets injured, gets to the playoffs, gets injured in the playoffs. So that would have been a big thing as well. Now, if I'm being honest, I think the Lakers might have won another championship, especially in 2021-2022. Or 2020-2021. So like after they won the championship that in that bubble year, I actually think it is likely the Lakers win the championship the following year, because that was the year that the Lakers were still the best team in the league, and then all the injuries ended up happening, and then Anthony Davis gets injured in the Suns series after the Lakers were up 2-1, and it looked like they had no hope. And if Kawhi Leonard could have been healthy, which that year, like I said, that was the year I believe that they went to the Western Conference Finals, the Clippers did. So you would have had LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. I do think that the Lakers would have went to the NBA Finals again. Because I think even if Anthony Davis goes down, I still think Kawhi and LeBron would have been enough with that roster to at least get through that Suns team, because the Lakers were looking good in that fourth game to go up 3-1. AD went down, and the Lakers just didn't have enough. LeBron, he was hurting. He was kind of on a half leg. But if you had Kawhi Leonard, I think Kawhi Leonard would have offset that, which would have been interesting. And then hopefully by that point, Anthony Davis would have been back for the NBA Finals. And I think Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James could have beaten the Milwaukee Bucks team. But even then, it's just all the drama, all of the headache, because the Lakers wouldn't have had the money to really kind of build a roster, right? Especially going into this year, right? The Lakers would be in the Clippers scenario, but probably a lot worse, right? Because they wouldn't have the depth that they have right now. There'd be a lot of probably question marks about going into this season. And these last 2 or 3 seasons, I think would have been the Lakers really dodged a bullet, right? I think the first 2 seasons would have been great. I think the Lakers would have won both seasons. You can maybe make an argument Anthony Davis might have not gotten hurt because he wouldn't have had to have done as much, because you would have had Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. So maybe that's something. But even then, regardless, I think the first 2 years would have been great for the Lakers. The Lakers might have won one more championship. And then ever since then, like I said, let's assume that the same circumstances happen. Kawhi Leonard can't stay healthy. Kawhi Leonard ends up missing a full season. I think it would have been a disaster these last few years. And now, on the flip side, I guess you could argue that maybe Kawhi wouldn't have been hurt as much, right? Or maybe Kawhi, because you would have had Anthony Davis, you would have had LeBron James, so you could have load managed Kawhi Leonard and still not had to have been a play-in team, or, that one year that they missed the playoffs entirely, right? That's something that you could make an argument about, I guess. But ultimately, I really do think that the Lakers dodged the bullet when it came to Kawhi Leonard, right? I just think that the position the Lakers would be in right now would be a tough position, right? Because you still have LeBron James. If you did win those 2 championships, the Lakers would almost feel obligated to keep Kawhi Leonard, keep Anthony Davis. So Kawhi Leonard and AD would both be getting extensions, right? And then on top of that, you'd be looking at LeBron James, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is he going to get a new contract? And you'd be just paying basically $150 million in payroll every year between those 3 guys. And would you be able to put a roster around those 3 guys that would be good enough with Kawhi Leonard's elements, with LeBron James's age, with Anthony Davis and his injury history? So I actually think it's kind of ironic in a lot of ways, because this was the big thing. And you can make an argument from a Kawhi Leonard standpoint. If anybody suffered more than anything, it's Kawhi Leonard, because the Lakers still ended up winning a championship. And that means Kawhi Leonard would have won a championship, and they probably would have won at least 2 by now. And Kawhi might have been in a better situation, right? It's just kind of funny how things play out, right? Because at the time, we were upset, right? We were bothered. And then we had to listen to all the media and all the noise about how the Clippers were this, that, and the other. And like I've talked about, I cannot believe in the Clippers. I just can't. Every year for the last 15 years has been the Clippers' year, right? Dating back to Lob City. It's probably been more 10 years, but you get my point. Every year the Clippers were one of, if not the best teams in the league, and every year that it was their year, and every year through a second round exit, first round exit, don't make it to the Western Conference Finals. And look, the Clippers, if they're healthy, they are a very good team, right? There's no doubt about it. And they seem to have the Lakers number for whatever reason. I mean, we'll see this year with the new Lakers roster, right? But the last few years, the Lakers just cannot seem to beat the Clippers. But at the end of the day, it's like, even in the Lakers' worst year, right, in a long time, they started the season 2-10, and they still finished the best that the Clippers have ever finished in their franchise history. That is hilarious. Like, you want to talk about little brother, big brother, right? Like, the Clippers have only gone to the Western Conference Finals one time, and the Lakers did it in one of the worst years of their franchise history. They went to the Western Conference Finals. I just think that's funny. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, no, they really did dodge a bullet? Do you think that they didn't? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.